Today on the Nerdy Gritty, with reports of harassment increasing, Twitch has been more strictly policing its content creators, including banning one of its most popular streamers.
One more world disappears inside it. Just another hopeless addict. Well, they make some man instead. If the drums don't get you, the guitars will.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Nerdy Gritty, where we delve deep into the details of pop culture. I am Dez, and I stream sometimes? I don't know what to say for that.
I'm your boy, Fox62, coming at you with another Dark Souls 3 tutorial. This time we're going to play with blindfolded.
Coming in
hot with your
Fortnite
with
meets
your Fortnite,
Dark Souls.
with your Fortnite speedrun strats. There's been some sad news.
That's true.
This year has been pretty good so far, but we finally hit
It's been a really chill year.
Something has brought down the whole vibe of the country.
Yeah. We've been on a high note for too long now.
And I'm sad to report, but Chuck E. Cheese has filed for bankruptcy.
No way.
It has.
Gasp. Now, are we talking about the food chain, or are we talking about that rat that was dragging a slice of pizza up in New York?
Okay. No, Chuck E. Cheese, the children, the family food chain, arcade slash pizzeria slash weird animatronic robot animals.
I'm not gonna lie, I have fond childhood memories of that place.
Oh, I loved
really
it.
do.
I loved it, especially when they did the every game's a quarter policy.
Yeah.
At a certain point, they instituted it was 1 token per game, and I was like that, not knowing. Yeah, they're still making money off me. I was just like, oh, what a value.
Yeah.
Because it was so nice to not have to put more than one. It just, anyway. So they filed for bankruptcy. They are... Okay, here's something that we need to talk about first. The actual canon name of the mascot.
It's like Charles Merchandise Cheese.
No,
Charles,
he's Chuck E. Cheese. He's Charles Entertainment Cheese.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, Charles
His
Entertainment
actual name
Cheese.
is Charles Entertainment Cheese. They filed for bankruptcy protection.
Oh, I thought Chuck M. Cheese.
Yeah, I don't know why that was. It's Chuck.
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Well, it's Chuck Merchandising Cheese, but it starts with an E and it's silent. The decision comes from the prolonged closure of many of its locations. So largely because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Right.
But they've reopened some places. This is okay. When Chuck E. Cheese eventually closes, because it's kind of weird, and I feel like it's losing its... Kids can play video games all the time now on their own.
Arcades in general
have been on the decline for sure. They can still offer some cool stuff, but Chuck E. Cheese is largely also directed toward children when there are places like Dave and Buster's, and kids are more than welcome to come play the games, but also adults can hang out and do their own thing.
Right.
And so Chuck E. Cheese, it seems to me that it's just inevitable that it will probably close eventually. It's going to go the way of Toys R Us. It's just going to become irrelevant in a changing society unless it changes things. So what I want to talk about is what could Charles Entertainment Cheese... What's his career options after we finish off, after the whole Chuck E. Cheese...
Here's what he needs to do. Ready? Rebrand as Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Oh.
And he's got a monocle and a top hat. Right.
So he's the new Mr. Peanut.
Yeah, very much. And he's still a rat, but it's fine dining.
Is he a rat or is he a mouse?
He's a mouse, but...
Okay, same thing. Same thing.
Right. But he's still... he's still a mouse, and he just walks around with a monocle and a top hat serving you pizza. What?
I'm just picturing the fine dining establishment, Charles Entertainment Cheese, it's like everything that Chuck E. Cheese's has, but in like a fine eatery.
Absolutely.
It still has like animatronic robots, but they're playing like Bach or something on their. It's like a quartet of like, or the pizza is just like,
welcome, sir. I've brought you your tokens. Come over here to our fine arcade establishments.
And all the games are nothing but like solitaire, or maybe it's like a casino.
It's a casino.
That's where
Yes.
we nailed it, Charles. But like one of those classy James Bond casinos,
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
a card room, not a casino,
Right,
you know,
right.
And like they have pizza, but they kind of high quality ingredients.
It's all like brick oven.
Yeah.
fresh
It's like
made.
a bread pastry with a a reduced tomato, a reduction of tomato and Italian herbs with a like it's just, but it's pizza.
Right, of course.
Man,
of course.
I would love this. I would love it if they moved into the everything super expensive. They have a dress code.
Exactly. You
have to wear a jacket
collars.
at
Yep,
least.
absolutely.
And the maitre d' is still Chuck E. Cheese in the
100%.
costume.
Yes. But he doesn't have a big grin on his face or anything like that. It's just like a stoic face.
Oh yeah,
no
just
smile,
like like a little like one of those mustaches,
yes.
of course. Yeah. Man,
please, this way. and it's still inside. It's still some like 17-year-old high school kid that hates it.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's get into
that news.
Some news.
That good news.
Yeah.
Hey,
pass me some of that good news, brother.
Yeah. Hey, before we even get into that, though, a news article that I just wanted to touch on really quick here, and just kind of.
Are you trying to sneak in an extra news article?
Yes, I am, because
Okay.
we're gonna go real quick, and this is. I'm gonna ask Jokes to walk out of the room real quick here, and we're gonna get real for half a second. But hey, there was a Twitch streamer, a pretty big one named Reckful, that just committed suicide.
Yeah.
And it's some rough news, and a lot of people really appreciated that. And this is just like hey guys, we're in a rough time, and things be crazy. If you need to do a self-check, and if you need some help, reach out to somebody.
Yeah,
please do.
The internet can be a rough place.
Yeah.
And it can exacerbate or make it more difficult to deal with mental health issues.
Particularly when we are stuck inside all the time, and you feel like the internet's the only thing to do right now.
Right.
You're stuck on there for a while. So this guy was a pretty popular streamer. I'd never heard of him, but he had a lot of followers and a pretty big crew. There was like vigils and get-togethers held for him in World of Warcraft, because that's how he made his name for himself. So he was actually one of several brothers, the second one to commit suicide, which is just heartbreaking. Yeah. So again, to you guys, really, I just wanted to bring that up because I want to say, you guys, hey, make sure you're taking care of yourself, please.
Yeah, nobody is immune.
Yep.
Nobody is immune.
Okay.
Most people struggle with mental health issues.
Now we can let Jokes back in.
Okay, welcome back into the podcast.
Yeah.
Then I guess I'll bring up something.
Go ahead.
Good news.
Oh, good.
One of my favorite actors, and I say that unironically, is doing a Q&A live stream. It's called Inmate Number 1 Q&A.
Danny Trejo?
Danny Trejo is doing a live stream Q&A this Tuesday. And as of here listening to this, tomorrow, Tuesday.
Is it for his new movie?
Let me look. Yeah, I know there's a documentary coming out about him, and I'm very excited.
Heck yes.
Because he's one of the coolest actors as far as like his story goes.
Right.
Yeah, he was an addict. He was a legitimate, like he's an ex-con. And now he's a counselor and he takes lots of roles in movies because he's deep into the community of like background extras, especially not background. He's not a background extra anymore, but especially and he always played like convict number 1 or inmate number 1,
number 1,
because he had that look that people tend to associate with criminal or prisoner.
Well, he used to be a boxer, so he's got kind of that beat up
He's
face,
a big guy.
like,
but
he's
he
a
also
big, strong
he
guy.
now takes that opportunity and leans into it because it allows him to get closer and like counsel other people who are in that same boat as he is. And man, he's doing a lot of good things.
Cool.
He's also in 100,000 movies. Like he's probably like the most working actor.
Kevin Bacon's like, man, Danny Trejo's been in a lot of movies.
What's Kevin Bacon's like degrees of separation from Danny Trejo? It's probably one. It's probably one.
Yeah, I guarantee you they were in a movie together.
100%. No, everybody's been in a movie. I've been in a movie with Danny Trejo, and I've never been in a movie. So, no. Anyway, they're doing a live stream Q&A, which is mostly like a tie-in. Hey, get the buzz going about this documentary, and I'm excited to watch that. and also watch the Q&A with him. Let's see. It's on IGN, apparently. Yeah, IGN is partnering with Universal. So if you just go to IGN, you'll probably be able to find that. It's July 7th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So, pumped.
I went to a 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon's site, and it's actually 3, not 2. At least as far as this website goes.
Okay, yeah.
So it's Danny Trejo was in Spy Kids 3D Game Over.
That's the one?
With Bill Paxton. And Bill Paxton was in Apollo 13 with Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. Man.
But no, that's awesome. I'm really excited.
Just waiting on Machete Kills in Space. I think it's actually Machete Kills Again is the next one.
So we are in deep into the next console generation, like advertisements and hype and things like that.
It's a thing. It's no longer rumors. It's just more information coming out.
And so we're in deep. And in the middle of that, PlayStation has decided to remove all advertisements from Facebook for the month of July. Only for 1 month.
Why?
But there's a movement going on right now that's don't profit off of. Oh, dang it! See,
you got to look it up, man.
I had it. Here's the removes ads. I had it up, and then I went to a different article to read it real quick, and then I didn't go back to it. It is. They're doing this with a lot of other companies: Starbucks, Ford, and Coca-Cola. They are doing this to paid and unpaid for Facebook continuing to allow hateful content and misinformation to exist on its platform unchallenged. That's what it is. That Facebook is not regulating what content they allow to be posted at any point. And in protest, major companies are pulling all ads, paid and unpaid, from Facebook for the month of July. Good. And that's huge to me.
It really is. That's where it's going to hit Facebook hardest. Facebook does not exist to provide a platform for people to talk to each other.
Right.
All of their ads say, hey, you can connect to each other and tell your story. No. They're there to sell ads using you as the platform. So if they start losing money, that's unfortunately, like a lot of times when things like this happen, that's what speaks most to corporate America is losing money. Right. And not any sense of morality or duty to the audience that they cater to. So great. I hope it leads to more. I hope it can also recognize that like PlayStation, like man, it's hard to talk. I don't know stats, but I would imagine that the majority of people looking to buy a PlayStation. No, I can't say. Well, maybe. I'm okay.
Why would you actually finish your whatever you're saying?
I'm debating this in my own mind before I even say it. I would say there's a possibility that a lot of people who are looking to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox or whatever don't need Facebook to learn about it. Right. Or aren't using Facebook. They're not learning, oh, there's a PlayStation 5 because they saw it on an Xbox. Well, or on a Facebook ad.
I think what's more important is that people know what PlayStation 5 is. They know what's coming out. They haven't heard it somewhere. But the purpose of ads is the constant popping up and it's staying
getting
it's
in
subconscious.
Your brain. Yeah.
It just gets
to be
stuck
thinking
in
about
there.
it with
And for a whole month, people are not going to be scrolling past Facebook ads on or PlayStation 5 ads on Facebook.
It can do it. It can be pretty detrimental.
Yeah, and so that's kind of like that's definitely a step for these companies to do that, to take that chance.
It's only a step forward. I hope it keeps going. I hope they recognize, hey, we don't need to do this. Well, what have you been doing this week? What have you been up to?
I got a few things actually. So, first of all, I've been playing a few games. I've been playing Code Vein a lot more. I've also been playing Evan's Remains, which is a storytelling puzzle game, but the pixel art in it is just gorgeous. Both of those will be coming out on our channel soon.
Awesome.
The last one I've been playing is Puzzle Agent. This one's just for me. This is an old point-and-click adventure game of you are the government's puzzle agent, and you need to go into a place to find out why the White House isn't getting erasers anymore.
What?
So you're going to the eraser factory, and it's all just comedy, of course.
Sure.
And of course, everybody you talk to is like, well, I'd love to help you, but I've got this issue. And it's a puzzle that you have to solve.
Man, old school like point and click adventures were either seemed like stupid, goofy, like just ridiculous things happening.
Yeah.
Or super serious, like dramatic horror. I, as far as video games, have been playing one game a bunch. It's called Hardspace, Shipbreaker.
Okay.
Here's the premise. You wanting to escape a Earth that's basically dying and just wanting something new in life. Kind of the, to a certain extent, the Stardew Valley opening, where it's like, I just need something new in my life. Change of pace kind of thing. You apply to be a shipbreaker for Lynx Corporation. You get accepted, and you are given a habitat and a like shipyard basically in space, and it is your job to now salvage old spaceships. Nice. And the game is simply navigating the puzzle of how to break apart a spaceship in the most efficient and profitable way.
Interesting.
It is nothing. It is early access. This is a game I've filmed a bunch of episodes already, but it's a game that I'm just going to be like following through its development.
I just started a new book, which is the Dear Evan Hansen novelization, which is one of my favorite all-time musicals, and the writing in the book is fantastic. It is written as if it's from the perspective of a teenager with high anxiety issues, depression issues, neuroses, things like that. And he rambles on like that, and he writes exactly like that. And you're reading this, and you're hurting for this kid as you're reading.
Yeah.
And it's written so well, and it's really good. So, yeah.
I watched 2 movies. The first one is Child's Play.
No, yeah, the new one?
The new one. The
Mark Hamill?
Yeah, the 2019 Child's Play. If you don't know what it's the Chucky movies, the little evil doll. And I've never seen any of the others. This is the first Child's Play movie I've seen.
Right.
And it was interesting. I liked it and didn't like it. I wish it were more ridiculous and more goofy, because that's what I imagine when I think of like weird, like that's what I imagine when I think of the originals. I've never seen them, but I think of like goofy evil doll killing people.
That was kind of just the 80s horror theme for a while.
Right, yeah, where it took that and like ran with it. Yeah, there was
part comedy.
That's a whole subgenre, is evil toys. The other movie I watched was Guns Akimbo. This is I think Amazon original. It's Daniel Radcliffe.
It's one that I'm like, should I watch it? I don't know.
Here's what I'd say. No, you shouldn't.
Okay.
It's very juvenile. Okay. Did you ever see Gamer?
I literally watched like an hour of it, and I'm like, this is stupid.
Remember how kind of dumb and juvenile it was?
Yes.
But that theme of like video game but real person kind of thing. So Guns Akimbo is essentially that, where not a video game, but there's like a internet, like a streaming thing that it's criminals and whatnot are pitted against each other in real life to the death fights. People watch it, whatever. And Daniel Radcliffe, who is essentially just a normal dude who spends time on the internet trying to troll trolls, as he says. Like, he's not a likable character. He insults the wrong person and is forced to be in one of these fights, and they bolt guns to his hands.
Right.
And it's about him trying to survive. So take the juvenile kind of nature of Gamer and add in an attempt to be like video game savvy, as in like Scott Pilgrim.
Okay.
Where it's making video game references and stuff, and also like images are popping up on the screen that are like video game-ish and like neon and things like that.
Yeah.
But take out all the intelligence of Scott Pilgrim, all the fun like comedic editing and the funny like acting. And so every character is obnoxious and annoying.
I also watched 2 movies. My wife and I watched both Golden Circle, or not Kingsman movies. Kingsman Secret Service and Kingsman Golden Circle. Have you seen?
Only seen the first one.
The first one. Okay, what did you think of the first one?
More interesting than I expected.
Yes.
Still kind of tropey, but I mean, tropey's fine, but not.
Here's what I thought about it, and it had layers to it, like more layers than I really expected.
It was smarter than I expected.
Yeah,
yes.
and It was, I liked it a lot, actually. It's got like a 64 Metascore, and I would have given it like a 7.5 to an 8.
It's I think it's a like pretty beloved by it. Not a cult classic. It's above that, but people love that movie.
Yeah. Well, there's a third one. It's a prequel coming out.
Which I like that idea. It looks real good. It's a cool concept.
It looks real good. But anyway, which literally I saw the preview for the Kingsman. I'm like, I want to see that. I should probably go watch the other two. So that's why we watched them. But the first one I thought was better than it was given credit for. To me, it was like, what if we tried to do a modern take on 70s James Bond movies, but also let's let Robert Rodriguez guest direct a couple of scenes. Like, because there
were some fun training scenes also. Yeah, and also very R-rated, which you wouldn't expect for that kind of movie. That's all I got.
That's all I got too. Shall we get down to that there nerdy gritty?
Sure.
Hey, but before we do that, if you're hearing this right now, that means you're listening to our our cut version.
Yeah.
Our shortened version of it for our basic, putting out into the public, whatever else, because we have what's called a director's cut. What we do is we take the first chunk where we talk about the things we've been up to, the news articles, things like that, and we cut that down a little bit. Just
trim it down.
Yeah.
Make it a little shorter.
Palatable, I guess. Yeah. I guess both are palatable, but make it a little shorter. And that's great. We never cut down the actual nerdy gritty, the end parts. But if you enjoy listening to us banter, hearing about the things that we've been up to, we do have what we call the director's cut on our Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/dezandfox, there are 3 tiers, and on the second tier, you will have access to the director's cut of the nerdy gritty, as well as to all of our Patreon exclusive content. All kinds of great things are up there, including our July Punthlies just went up. Patrons get that 2 months earlier than anyone else. And we have a Discord that you can be a part of. A lot of great conversations going on there all the time. There's a lot going on. So we really want to encourage you to jump over to patreon.com/dezandfox and see if that's something that you want to support. If you can't afford that, or if it's something you're not interested in, we still always appreciate it when you guys can just share it, tell a friend about it, spread it by word of mouth. We really appreciate that. Thank you again, guys, and now let's get down to that there nerdy gritty.
So recently, for the what seems like millionth time, people are describing what has happened as the Me Too movement of the video games industry. There's been a lot of allegations of harassment, sexual assault, abuse, what have you, all those things coming out against popular streamers, popular people in the industry, not just content producers, but actual like higher ups and game developers and things like that. And we want to talk today specifically about what's happening in the realm of Twitch. This is kind of an industry-wide thing, and not even just video games, happening in the comics industry as well, and obviously the movie industry. And but we want to talk specifically about what's happening on Twitch, and we want to talk about Twitch's response to what's going on, because it's actually been very interesting and different than how they've handled it in the past. They've been, I would say, I think it's fair, a little more strict. I think they've been more heavily policing the content creators that they've had on their platform.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on here, and okay, really quickly, just to give you a peek into the mind of Dez and how things work. You said allegations, and I've heard that word a billion times, but for whatever reason this time, right when you said allegations, my very first thought was, are there crocodilations?
Yes. Yes, there are.
Allegations and crocodilations.
Hello, I'm allegations.
Anyway, so it's been really weird.
Allison Gations was my mother.
Because Twitch for a long time has just kind of let things go.
Yeah. The consistency with which they've banned or punished, I guess, people who violate their stated rules of practice.
Right.
It's been very inconsistent. They've not really had much rhyme or reason, it seems. Sometimes they ban people for reasonable things, and other times it's like, no, that's a standard practice you'd have to ban everybody if that,
I mean, there have been parts where people have used racial slurs live. people, and we'll get into this in a little bit, where people have streamed from public bathrooms while people were in those public bathrooms using them. There have been all kinds of crazy things that have happened, and Twitch has banned them for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, a month, a couple days.
Yeah, which to me, the word ban is always... Ban in itself is a permanent word to me. They've suspended them before.
Suspended, yeah. Ban.
But...
Yeah. You're talking specifically right there about a certain streamer named who calls himself Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce. That's the actor. That's why he puts on the disguise.
So you don't know it's him.
It's the disguise. Yeah. So that term literally means no longer a guy. He's not Guy Pearce anymore.
Now he's
Dr. Disrespect. Now he's Dr. Disrespect. A little fun fact right there.
Fox. It's not. His name is Guy.
His name is Herschel Guy as a nickname.
Right.
Beam.
Guy Beam.
Beam? I don't know. The fourth. Also better known as Dr. Disrespect. Now, he's like the really big one that people are talking about. He was apparently permanently banned as of, a week and a half ago now?
Yeah.
As of recording, about a week maybe. We'll talk more about that, but there's been a whole lot more than just him, though. It's actually kind of like... This has probably been the most ban-heavy era of Twitch.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, there's just been a cascade of allegations being made. Hey, this is what happened to me, and it's kind of it's very reminiscent of, the still ongoing Me Too movement of the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
That. Hey, yeah, a lot of us have been dealing with this, and it's been giving more streamers, more audience members, more other people in the industry more confidence to step out and say, hey, this is what happened to me.
Now, the reason that we wanted to talk about this was, number one, because overall this is a good thing.
Yes.
And this should be happening because Twitch has been way too lax on this. But on the other side, there are thousands, if not tens of thousands of streamers on Twitch of all sorts of popularity, people who stream and have never had a viewer in their life. They like to stream just for fun for themselves, or people who have hundreds of thousands of viewers all the time that stream via Twitch. And the difficulty in policing all of them and taking care of all this is something that is behemoth in nature. It
is unfathomable how a corporate entity would have the ability to, with a fine-tooth comb, police everything that happens.
Right. So the first thing I want to talk about and kind of want to banter back and forth with you there, Fox, is...
Me?
With you, Fox. I want to banter with you. Yeah,
Great.
Yeah. Is how do you think Twitch is going to manage this? They are making a statement right now in saying, because they have laid down permabans for a lot of people.
Yes.
Is... How are they going to continue to live up to this without also rushing too quickly? How are they going to, because let's say somebody complains, they get 3 or 4 complaints saying this guy is sexual harassing or this person is giving racial slurs or whatever else. And without just going in and every single time there's a complaint saying, cool, you're done. Cool, you're done. Or is that what they should do? What do you think?
I generally tend... In anything like this, I tend to lean toward the, hey, this is an organization that you signed up to be a part of. You might have a partnership with them, a contract or whatever, but they still have, community rules of practice.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, I can't say that.
Often?
Investigations need to ensue. I don't think you can rightfully just say, well, somebody said something, so you're done. That's not to say that we should disbelieve that we should mistrust or not trust the accusers.
Right.
Because here's the thing, there's no reason why somebody would do this. There's nothing that... This is one of my biggest pet peeves whenever this thing kind of comes up. Oh, that person is just accusing them to be famous. But can you, this is happening politically as well.
Right.
All these things, like Brett Kavanaugh, can you name a single person right now?
No.
No, you can't.
No.
They are famous in the sense that, yes, this big thing happened to them, but it's not like they're a celebrity.
Now now they're in movies.
Yeah. No. This ruins their lives.
Yeah.
I hate that. It's victim blaming. It's trying to it's trying to gaslight and change the argument. So we can't, you can't say at the same time, you can't just, you want to investigate, you want to say, okay, let's find the truth behind this, because that does the best service to everybody involved. The problem is that it's not always going to be possible to, without a shade of doubt, prove that something did or did not happen. And I think that's where the rub comes in for a lot of people, because we have a sense of justice in America that requires evidence.
Right.
And if that's impossible to provide, then you're either going to ban somebody or punish somebody without cause, or not ban somebody or punish somebody, leaving somebody who credibly and correctly actually accused them of something, doing something, you're going to leave them behind, and there will be no justice according to our system.
I think that streaming services in general, but including Twitch, have kind of a leg up on this in as much as they literally record everything. Like, you can go back and watch VODs of the streams, and so if somebody makes complaints, I would just suggest that maybe they do, maybe they don't. I've never had to make a Twitch complaint before, but I would suggest that Twitch has in there like a what VOD, like copy and paste the link here, and what timestamp for when this happened.
Sure, I mean, like that'd be really nice.
Frame and something like that, and that way they can just go in and have a human being, hopefully every time, watch it and assess the situation and take a look at what's going on.
Well, the issue with that is that it's not always just something they did on their stream.
Right.
It's like this popular streamer was texting underage women asking for sexually explicit whatever. And
which is that thing that happened with a YouTuber, yeah.
Yes, that happens. Yes. And so that's an example. I'm not trying to accuse any specific person or whatever. I'm just saying that is a possibility that wouldn't not necessarily provable or disprovable. Right. Based on what happened on Twitch. And so I think that's also where the rub comes in, because if something happens unrelated to the actual Twitch platform of something that happens over a Twitch stream or a message on Twitch itself, the question is, well, how far do we go with this person? Yeah, they stream, they have a partnership with Twitch, but this crappy thing they did has nothing to do with that. So how far do you go with that? And so that's the thing that we have to approach, is there's never going to be, not never, sometimes it's very obvious, very clear, yes, hey, you did a crappy thing, here's the proof, you're done. But oftentimes it's going to be a gray area, and there has to be a decision made that very possibly could be the wrong one. Mm-hmm. But it's with the best, hopefully best intentions behind it. I want to bring in the idea of cancel culture. Cancel culture gets thrown out a lot these days. Oftentimes it's used as just a pejorative term, as in you just don't like what somebody did, and so you're trying to ruin them.
Right.
And maybe that's true sometimes.
It's true a lot of times. Yeah.
It's true a lot of times. It's based on just personal preferences or tastes.
Well, and to be clear, it's true a lot of the times, and sometimes it's deserved. Like, sure, you don't like what that person did because it's genuinely terrible.
Right. It's not just one person. It's, hey, you did a racism.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're not going to pay attention to you anymore. You're no longer going to be supported by. We don't like that thing you did. And I think what a big part of this whole Twitch thing and the concept of cancel culture, which is very popular right now, people seem to be kind of talking a little bit more against the idea of just outright no longer, you're done, no grace, whatever.
And doing it so quickly.
Doing it with it, oh, I heard this thing, I'm done, whatever. This falls into the gray area because, again, a lot of times it's up to personal preference or a feeling of being offended, which it can be very real. It's just not necessary, whatever. That's, I think, where a lot of this is coming into play, is how far do we go in saying you did this thing and now you're done forever? That's a question that nobody really can have an answer for.
And I'm going to talk outside of Twitch for a little bit about cancel culture, but I do want to bring it back into Twitch in this moment. But I think a really good example of this is he's a prolific voice actor in a lot of anime. His name is Vic Mignogna, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think it's Mignogna. But anyway, he voices Broly in the Dragon Ball Z films, and he does a few other voices here and there. But he had a lot of people step up and say, hey, when I saw Vic Mignogna, he leaned in and like was sniffing me, and it was super uncomfortable. Or there are like, I have this video of him just kind of like really invading my personal space, and there were a lot of women who were like, yeah, yes, he is very much a creep. A lot of other people came in and were like, I've seen Vic 100 times and never anything has like that happened. There's what? No idea. And it has gone back and forth, and it has been a heated thing for a long time. But there have been investigations. There are times that he was uninvited from cons, and other times when cons stepped up and said, hey, we looked at all the evidence and we just don't see a reason to uninvite him, but we want to make that a public statement. Like, we tried. We really did try. We didn't want to just fall into cancel culture. We wanted to try and really like search into things. When we didn't find enough evidence to actually want to cancel this guy from our con. And it's gone back and forth a lot. And to this day, I don't think anything's ever really been settled. I think he just still works, still does, and some people think
he seems to be. I'm looking at his he seems to have had work at least up until last year.
Yeah, and nobody really knows. And the problem with cancel culture is we still don't really know. If we were just to have canceled Vic, what if it wasn't as serious, or what if it was misunderstandings? Or obviously we do not want to discredit victims or struggles, but what if it was misunderstanding at the time, or what if maybe he did, and I don't know, whatever. Bottom line is, maybe it just isn't as things seem sometimes. And it can be like that on Twitch a lot. What if somebody is streaming and they say something that they firmly believe, not as offense, not like what maybe they say, let's bring J.K. Rowling into this. Maybe the person streaming just vaguely says, no, I'm also a trans exclusionary radical feminist. Like, I'm a TERF. I don't think that trans women are real women. I believe in real women's rights. If somebody says that while streaming, but they say people disagree with me, and that's fine. That's no problem at all. But it's my personal opinion that, I'm a TERF or whatever. And it's very easy to then say that's hate speech. We want to cancel you.
Sure.
And to go into whatever else. But is it really? Like, is it really something? It's something that Twitch is going to have to balance, because what makes Twitch unique, what makes Twitch so unique, is that you will have a camera into somebody's personal life.
Yes.
This is not an actor.
Literally into their bedroom.
Or wherever else. Yeah.
Or wherever they stream from.
Yeah. This is not an actor. This is not a famous, well, I mean, they're famous, but they're famous for what they're doing in their home.
Yes.
You are seeing their personal life for hours a day, every day. And so you're going to get their personal opinions and whatnot. Sometimes the personal opinions are pretty racist, and that's not okay. And maybe you shouldn't allow this racist a platform to do their thing. Maybe sometimes they just have opinions that you really don't agree with, and those are just, maybe they're Republican and you really disagree with that. Twitch is going to have to balance what they consider hate speech and what they don't, because there will, I guarantee you, there will be times that people are going to say, I don't like your opinion, even though it's an honest, whatever, neutral opinion. I hate it. All 100 of us watching you right now are going to report you. How's Twitch going to balance that?
Well, here's the thing. I think we lean a little bit in different directions. I think I'm more pro a stricter, hey, this might not be true, but we're like just making that declaration. We're siding with people who make allegations, still wanting to investigate. But I think I'm a little bit more okay with just, yeah, this is what we're saying. Like, this is what we're doing. There are multiple allegations or multiple complaints. We looked into it. We understand where they're coming from as far as we can. You're done. That kind of thing. I'm more okay with being on the side of accusers, right? Being on the side of victims, as they both generally coincide. Victims are accusers. I'm generally more okay with being on the side of them than the accused, because, like I said, there's not really any evidence, any strong evidence that people just do this for fun to cancel people. Yeah. There's generally some reason behind it, even if it is a misinterpretation according to the accuser. Here's the thing, and this is a debate, but author's intent rarely matters, I think. Right. In certain cases, it's really how it was received by the audience. and that matters more than what you intended. I don't really care much about the "you ruined my career" aspect of it. I'm not even trying to decry like streaming as a career or not. It really is. It 100% is. But hey, you probably did a bad, and there's probably somebody out there who could do it better. So now we're like, to a certain extent, it's weeding out the people who might be doing, like, I think I'm more okay with a stronger tendency to drop the ban hammer than not, even if it might result in some people who feel like they were banned without real cause.
Now, so let me ask you this, because this is something that I've thought of before. You and I have many times openly said, "Hey, yeah, we're Christians. We openly believe in Christ,
Sure.
and we work at the same church for
Yeah.
years. You continue to work there. I've since stepped down, but you know, what if at some point people begin to say, "Hey, these guys are bigots," or "These guys are what," because of stereotypes of Christianity, and our Twitch channel, which we don't stream anymore, but in the event that we did or whatever,
I've been thinking about it recently, actually.
yeah, our Twitch channel we were banned not because we've actually stated anything, because of a stereotype of Christians.
Well, I mean,
because that's something that people do.
That'd be rough. It would feel like injustice. I also think the court of public opinion is valid.
Okay.
I think it's perfectly fine if you disagree with somebody to no longer patronize them, and also to try to convince others not to. I think that's fine to do.
I agree with that. I do.
I'm not, maybe it's because of my Christian worldview, I'm not looking for perfect justice according to our system.
Because we're not going to get it. No, we're not going to get it this
in my
side.
opinion, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that's both because I think people are in nature fallen and tend to be more self-oriented, but also because I think perfect justice also involves grace. And because grace isn't a satisfying thing oftentimes. So that's what I'm saying. Investigations are good.
Yes.
I think, to use your example, if Twitch were to look into it and say, well, nothing, like there's no evidence of a text that was sent or an email, or nothing that happened in these videos seems to demonstrate that they are bigots. So then, hey, that's fine. Like, that's why I think there always needs to be an investigation of some kind, which is going to be on Twitch. Got to be on them. They got to have a dedicated team that this is what they do. If you're going to provide a public and free and a platform for basically anybody to do whatever they want, even with their, there's not really like there are behavioral standards they have, but not like content standards, as far as, trying to not explaining that super well. But like, if you're going to allow this public platform that endeavors to be a place where people should feel safe and people can feel free to express themselves to a certain extent, then you have to also be willing to police that. You can't just say, here's a community standard form that everybody has to agree to be here, and then never do anything about that. Because then it doesn't matter at all. Then it's just lip service, and you're actively creating a place where people feel safe to do terrible things. Yeah. It's never going to remain neutral. It's never, like, the idea of, hey, everybody just be cool is never going to happen. That's not how people work. We've seen that.
Yeah. so many times.
So there has to be investigation, and I think it's okay to be a little stronger on the ban hammer than not, because I think most often you're going to be doing the right thing.
I don't disagree with you. In fact, I'm still thinking all this out in my head anyway, because it's something new for a platform like this to suddenly be this strict and just be booting people left and right. Typically, it's the other way around. They just say, go, whatever goes, man, go ahead and go for it.
Yeah, or here's a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. But I think that, number one, they're going to have to be very specific with what is and is not okay.
Yes.
And I legitimately think that they should have Article 4, Section B 1.32, so they can say, hey, man, you violated Article B, Section 4, 1, blah, 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 and that's why.
That's one way to do it. The other way is vague intentionally. So then you get to say, hey, we've deemed that you violated this rule, and hey, that's it.
The problem with vague intentionally is there's going to be some times that you ban somebody and they say, I didn't really do anything, but their stuff's so vague, and so the ban feels really unsatisfying.
It feels
on the flip
unsatisfying.
side, the other the Twitch is going to say, we actually didn't find for sure they didn't quite fulfill this, and people are going to say it's so vague. Nobody can 100% fulfill this because it's so vague, and no matter what happens, there's going to be dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
So it's easier. I agree with you that it's easier. But,
easier for the platform,
right? But it's just there's so much dissatisfaction in that.
That's true. Here's what I want to give Twitch some advice. Hey, Mixer just imploded. Mixer's gone and it's buried in an unmarked grave in the middle of nowhere. You are gaining a lot more people now, people that are coming back.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have to I don't think the Twitch community has to I don't think they have to worry about supporting their big names. We talked about a little bit of this. They still will. I get it. They want to bring in people who are popular that get more people to watch and give them more money. But there's always going to be, like you said, somebody to take their place. Somebody that's going to be popular. It's Dr. Disrespect being banned doesn't mean that nobody's going to be as popular as him. He's not going to be the end. Michael Jordan.
The end of Twitch.
Michael Jordan retiring didn't mean there wasn't another extremely great basketball player named LeBron James to come in.
Kobe Bryant before
Kobe
LeBron
Bryant.
James.
Sure, there's always the greatest and always going to be somebody better even. And so it's not, I feel like this idea of when Twitch was younger, to get some huge names or whatever to really stream or to boost up those people who are already popular, going to be more important to get your platform out there and get it popular. You're already there. You're the one who's surviving. Your main competitor died for unknown reasons. I mean, there's probably known reasons. I just haven't looked into it, but it's dead. It's dead and gone now. So, and it's teaming up with Facebook, which is if Google died somehow and then teamed up with Yahoo, it's no, that's probably a backward way to go. But so I don't think you have to worry much about, oh no, we banned our popular person. There's going to be another popular person that if people were, avid watchers of Dr. Disrespect, sure, they loved watching his stream for his brand and whatever.
Right.
But they also love watching streamers. And they're going to find somebody else to join in on, maybe even somebody similar, in nature.
Yeah.
And so, I don't think you guys have to worry about, oh no, we're alienating these people. They're gone forever. They're not. You have essentially a monopoly now on the streaming, and so
at the same time,
I don't think you have to worry about it that much.
I will say my advice to Twitch would also be, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I say also Twitch be comfortable with sending something to complainers and saying, hey, we didn't find any violations of our community standards, but we do recommend that if you're dissatisfied with them, don't watch them. Here are some other streamers that you might like. Yeah, or something like that. That's just saying, hey, then don't give them your attention.
Everybody always has that option. I'll my last point here I'll end with, and it's kind of a reiterating, but I've watched a few online conferences, webinars, whatever, about the idea of reopening churches during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And the question of political beliefs being mixed into reopening policies about wearing masks and things like that, because that's where we are as a country. And how do we kind of reconcile people who are okay with it and wearing a mask, no problem, and people who don't like it, or people who are angry if we're forcing, demanding people do that or whatever. And pretty much every time the person speaking just talked hey, you're going to have to figure out what your value is and then stick to it and expect the heat. Because the opposite is figure out a value and then just disregard it.
Yeah.
And just cow to whoever's complaining. And that's always going to be a problem. I think I would much rather support a Twitch-like platform, a platform of streaming that has strict beliefs, that is willing to quote-unquote alienate some people because they disagree with it, rather than just trying to claim this is what they believe in, a platform for everybody to feel safe and welcome, and then never do anything about that.
Right.
And so I think expect the heat and just say, okay, you can go to Mix. Oh,
you can go to Facebook Gaming.
We couldn't even get through that one.
But Let's for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's touch on Dr. Disrespect.
Okay.
If you guys didn't know, one of the major bans, we've said it like 8 times, so of course you know now. Dr. Disrespect has been banned permanently.
We still don't know why,
and we still don't know why now.
That's a problem.
The reason I wanted to touch on this is because there are 2 things that we could definitely say about this ban. Number 1, they have plenty of reason to ban
that's
him.
great.
Like the dude.
Good call, Twitch, but also why?
We talked about this a little bit last week,
yeah.
where the dude has provided plenty of reason for this.
Most people are just like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. But up to this point, they have given him so many passes, for very specific things. And the one time they do ban him, they just say they violated our community standards. Okay, bye.
As far as I can find, the last statement is regarding all of this is Dr. Disrespect tweeting Champions Club. Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all for support during this difficult time, Dr. Disrespect.
And this is precisely what I mean by being specific rather than vague. Because right now Twitch has said, you violated our community standards.
Sure.
And that's true. When, where, how? If they could say, hey, and this stream at this point, and at this stream and at this point, you violated Section 4, Verse 8, whatever.
Section 4, Verse
8 of...
You violated Job 32.
Oh, I was going with like a hymnal, like moving on to Verse 8 of the hymn.
Job 41. Do you know where the mountain goats give birth, Dr. Disrespect? Do you? I was reading Job right now.
So
great chapter.
Oh man,
so sarcastic. God is a sarcastic man.
In Job,
sarcastic person, sometimes being.
Yes, in Job, he brings it down.
Anyway,
man.
Let's move on.
Yeah. So all that to say, they have an opportunity when they're being more strict to be able to say, "This is what you did," and Dr. Disrespect saying, "That's dumb." But yeah, I did that. That's true.
When you're not specific and you just, hey, you're banned for reasons, then it gives rise for conspiracy to come in and just say, well, they did them dirty, and there's no reason why. Even though we know there is, you got to tell us.
Plenty of reasons.
We've talked about this on our with Dan, Guns and Guitars. He had the same issue. He was issued a pretty big strike to his YouTube account. And they never told him why. And that was the hard part
guns.
for him. Yeah.
And he's like, what about guns?
Wait, what about...
that was a whole thing because it was just before they instituted a no guns policy. And he's like, when I released this video, it was not a... Anyway,
Right.
But it was a really interesting conversation. You guys can go back and watch that.
Do your content creators the service, the respect of telling them why they can't produce content for you anymore.
All right, guys, let us know what you think about Twitch's bans that are coming up. Let us know what you think about the Dr. Disrespect situation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Thank you to Granger for the use of our theme song, All My Friends Have Wi-Fi, and some of my neighbors do too, off of the album Dear Sam.
We've got, let's see, we're playing Days Gone still. We're playing Last of Us Part 2.
Yep.
My 3-episode playthrough of a fun indie game called A Short Hike went up this week as of recording, and it's really fun and peaceful and introspective and very unique game, and I really loved it. That's up there now. I'm going to be putting up my Shipbreaker playthrough, just kind of episodes as they come out, as they do updates and stuff. That's going to be going up there. We've got a lot going on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/dezandfoxplay. I'm going to be playing what's the samurai game? Ghost of Tsushima. I'll be playing that. It's like we always have videos going on up there, as well as summer gaming fest updates. So lots of stuff. Go ahead and check that out. There's something for you there.
Thanks again for listening, guys, and always remember that saved games save lives.
See you later.
My voice is loud.